The earth was warm, the fields were green, the soil was rich beneath the tree. Far in the north, where no eyes gazed, the stars grew cold, with whispers strange. The dark of night, the world was still, the skies did hum winter's cold song. Dreams turned to frost, and winds like blades crept into hearts with chill so deep. The earth grew soft, so warm beneath. It stirred and shook beneath the tread. Mountains sighed loud, and rivers moaned. Something ancient woke in the north. The wise ones saw, in visions clear, the land of white, a world of snow. None could tell how this call to frost had grown so strong, a yearning cold. The fields once green, with songs of spring, now whispered low of changing times. The roots grow cold, the soil turned hard. North began to call them forth. No call was heard, no banner raised, yet hooves did turn to distant peaks. Through forests dark, through rivers wide, the march began, silent and sure. It was one alone, a chieftain wise, whose dreams were filled with winter's light. Her name was Cirrus Wisp, a mirror of strength, who heard the stars and knew their song. One night she saw, in crystal clear, the great white land beyond their reach. The way was hard, the wind was fierce, no pony crossed without great price. In dreams she stood at the vale's edge, where stars hung low and skies gleamed white. A shadow rose, a force unknown. Before her path, it barred her way. Come forth, dreamer, the shadow called. Beyond this veil lies cold and storm, but those who pass must pay the toll, for winter takes what warmth has made. The chieftains meet at dawn's first light, with hearts of doubt, but eyes like ice. The earth was warm, yet stirred with fear, for something far had made its claim. Cirrus spoke out of stars and snow, of visions cold from northern lights. The north is harsh, its light a call, but every step will test our fate. In distant north, where stars grow cold, the veil awoke, its will untold. It hummed and shook with ancient might, for snowbound lands demand their right. The veil was thin, the wall was light, that shimmered bright with frost and flight. No pony knew its full true form, but all could feel its chilling call. The veil called out to those who dreamed, not with warm words nor voice of peace. Its voice was wind, Its song was wind, and those who came would face its test. With hearts of doubt, yet hoofs of strength, the ponies marched to lands afar. Cirrus led forth, her gaze like steel, for she had seen the northern stars. Through forests dark, through rivers wide, they ventured forth in silent step. The nights grew long, the winds blew sharp, and frost began to bite their coats. At last they came unto the vale, a wall of mist, of snow and light. But as they neared, the winds grew fierce, and shadows danced in vale's cold glow. From mist emerged a figure dark, with eyes of ice and voice of stone. It spoke to them with winter's breath, a voice that froze their beating hearts. No hoof shall cross this frozen vale, for timeless laws defend its claim. You seek the land where stars grow still, but frost's cold gifts must match your will. One by one, the ponies stood, their breath like frost, their hearts unsure. Cirrus stepped forth with steady hoof and faced the shade at winter's gate. I seek the frost and know there's cost, yet speak your terms, what must be lost? The shadow smiled, its grin like ice. For you the price is what you were. One by one they stepped through frost, through veil of mist into the cold. As they crossed, their coats grew thick, their hoofs turned light, their hearts like snow. The earth they knew was left behind, and winter's breath now filled their veins. No longer bound to field and stone, they became stars of frost and wind. Their eyes shone bright with winter's light, their manes like ice, their hooves like frost. They had become what stars foretold, the frost mares now, the cold's own guard. From hearts of frost, 3 gifts arose, bestowed on those who crossed the veil. Bound by chill, their hearts were firm, a steadfast will no cold could turn. In the sight of stars, so deep and wise, their eyes could pierce the northern skies, and the silent strength, a heart of ice that never bends or breaks in storm. The step of snow, so light as wind, no storm could bind their hooves to ground. Their coats grew thick, their hoofs grew light, and winter's might was in their bones. Their first steps fell on fields of frost, their hoofs sank not, the snow gave way. Light as the wind, they moved with grace, unbound by storm at winter's pace. Their coats grew long, in colors pure, of browns and grays, of earth and stone, for bright and bold hold no place here, where stealth and snow was their great shield. Their coats grew soft, as if by will, and fluff became their arm and might. With every gust, they held the warmth and walked in peace where frost winds bite. But in this land of endless white, the snow ponies learned to fight and thrive. Their hoofs grew swift, their eyes grew sharp, for winter's world was full of life. In forests dark of ancient pine, their villages rose with logs and light. They gathered roots and berries sweet, for winter's feast was found in trees. In tundra wide, where winds run wild, they built their homes from ice and snow. Their igloos gleamed in northern lights, a beacon bright in endless night. Upon the seas, where waves turned cold, they fished the depths with lines of frost. The ice-bound catch from waters deep filled their hearts warm through long, dark nights. In lands once wild, where frost took hold, the snow ponies carved a home of ice. They built with frost their strength from snow, and named it Snow Pit, a village bright. The shaw mares spoke to northern winds, and called the ghosts of frost and snow. With hairs of frost from coats they wove great charms of strength and magic deep, for snow ponies knew that frost held will, and magic lived in every flake. They called the ghosts of ancient days, who wandered still through snow and sky. But not all ponies knew the gift to walk on snow with steps so light. The snow trot was a sacred skill passed down by those who knew the way. Young fillies learned through toil and test to place their hoofs like feathers soft. The greatest ones could gallop swift without a flake disturbed in flight. In northern lights, where windigos roamed, the snow ponies learned to guard their hearts, for hatred brought the winds of death, and anger fed the frozen beasts. But snow ponies knew the ancient law, the balance held between fire and ice. They stoked their hearts with careful flame, but never let their hearts grow warm. Beyond the gate, where cold winds hold, where glaciers gleamed and shadows slept, there roamed great beasts of ice and flame, leviathans deep in frozen seas. The snow ponies fought with frozen spears, enchanted blades of magic bright. Their warriors bold would guard the night to shield their homes from winter's blight. In snow pit bright, between the stars, the tribes would come from far and wide. Through endless night, where the sky grew dark, they gathered close in frost and flame. They sang the songs of winter's might and danced below the northern lights. For though they thrived in ice and cold, The snow ponies held their hearts as one. The snow ponies rose with strength and peace, their hearts ablaze with winter's gift. They held the balance of snow and flame, and walked the world with steps of light. Though frost did bite, and storms did wail, their hearts stayed warm, like hearths of flame. For love was born beneath the snow, and friendship's bond no cold could break. They gathered close in huts of ice, and shared the warmth of voice and light. Their laughter rang through winter's night, and in their eyes the stars shone bright. For though they'd changed, their hearts stayed true, as fierce as storm, as wild as gale. Through endless nights they stood as one, snow ponies bound by love and trust. When tempers froze, when frost crept in, their warmth arose and melt the cold. For when the winds were fiercest blown, they never gave a cold shoulder. They laughed aloud in frost-kissed air, while snowflakes danced in winter's wonder. Each one a vow, softly laid, as gentle as the frost that flakes. In every flake of snow that fell, a quiet grace of wonder bloomed. For even when the world grew dark, their love remained a winter's glow. Through winters long, through endless storms, their bond endured, forever warm. And in the heart of snow so deep, their love would hold and never sleep.
Thank you for listening, every pony. Feel free to subscribe and turn on the notification bell to know when I post more content like this. Feel free to follow me on TikTok, Patreon, X, and Discord. Links in the description. And should you want to join my new nation, feel free to join the Shade Hollow, my Discord server. Good night, every pony.